Today is a great day in Laurens County, Georgia, and today we've been looking forward to the celebration today really for years now. It's taken a huge amount of work, a lot of time, and we're just glad to be here today. Today is a chance to reflect on a great accomplishment and a great achievement, not just for Laurens County, but for the entire state of Georgia. We want to focus today on this huge accomplishment and what it's going to mean for all of us as we continue to move forward. We want to say thank you to all of those of you in the room for the part that you've played in giving us your support, your encouragement, helping us with all the due diligence, all the things that you all have done to make today possible. Mega sites, by definition, are a large, readily developable site with a minimum of 1,000 acres that have access to the critical infrastructure and the skilled workforce that major industrial users require today. Marketing and holding a mega site requires fortitude, endurance, and commitment from the community, from its elected officials, from its business leaders, and all of its key stakeholders. Well, I may be biased, but I think the Heart of Georgia mega site is the best mega site now in the country. And it's right here in Laurens County, Georgia. Not only do we have 1,000 acres, we have 1,999 acres. I'd like to ask you guys to go buy another acre if we could, to round it up to 2,000. We've got 5,000 feet of rail operated by the J.D. Power and Associates award-winning railroad, Genesee and Wyoming. We've got full interstate exposure right at exit 58 on I-16. We're 90 miles from the fastest growing deep water port in the entire country. We're proud to have two key executives of the Georgia Ports Authority here today. We've got a detailed plan for utilities and infrastructure. So when you look at success stories from around the Southeast, it's not hard to understand why it's so important standing up one of these mega sites and what it's going to mean to our community in all of middle Georgia. The Tennessee Valley Authority, since 2004, has certified 7 megasites with over 12,000 acres. Ultimately, these sites have helped attract over $5 billion of new investment. A number of firms you may have heard of, like Toyota, who's building sports utility vehicles now in Tupelo, Mississippi. The guy that was responsible for bringing them to Tupelo is sitting right at that table today, and we'll introduce him again in just a minute. Volkswagen, who is now located in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Thousands of new jobs that have been brought to the Southeast because of good planning, good leadership, and good mega sites. So this is the potential of what this could mean to our community and our state. I want to acknowledge some members of our team and some of our partners today. I'd like to ask you all to stand and be recognized, if you would. First of all, the members of our board of directors, the Dublin-Laurens County Development Authority Board, if you would, please stand. Help me recognize them. Chairman Emery Lake, Administrator Brian Rogers, and members of the Laurens County Board of Commissioners, please stand. Thank you guys for being here today. Members of the Dublin City Council and staff, if you would please stand today. I know that I saw a couple members here. Thank you guys for being here today. Mayor George Gornto, our mayor of the city of East Dublin, where this park will be located. Mr. Mayor, thank you for being here today. And Larry Drew, administrator, thank you, Larry. My good friend, Ms. Judge Helen Harper. Judge, thank you for being here today. One of my predecessors, Ms. Willie Paulk. Ms. Willie, thank you for all you did to help start this project. Y'all don't get tired of clapping now. Mr. Wayne Christian, who's on the board of directors of the Georgia Department of Economic Development. Mr. Wayne, thank you for being here. Our state senator, Mr. Larry Walker. Senator, thank you for being here today. I mentioned 2 members of the Georgia Ports Authority that play such a huge role in our success in located manufacturing international projects. Mr. Bart Gobill with the Georgia Ports and Mr. Jamie McCurry. Thank you guys for joining us today. Appreciate it. Thank you. Senator David Perdue's Field Representative Jay Smith. Jay, thank you. I know I saw you heard. Thank you for being here. Congressman Rick Allen's Field Representative Troy Wyndham. Troy, thank you for being here today. the man whose name is on our building today, Mr. DeBose Porter. DeBose, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. I mentioned Mr. Gray Swope, who's here today. Gray is the former head of Enterprise Florida, which is the state of Florida's lead economic development organization. He was also the Secretary of Commerce for the state of Mississippi when Toyota located 3,000 to 5,000 new jobs and $1 billion of new investment. Guess what? He's now on our team, and he's providing us assistance, and is going to be a great asset to this marketing group. Gray, thank you so much for being here today. Help me welcome him. Finally, last but not least, and I'll have some more formal introductions for our speakers, but I want to thank Allison McGrath, who's here today, and Rick Moore and Steve Moore and the Moore Bass Consulting team, who have literally become part of our family and part of our internal team and have worked thousands of man hours to get us today where we are. So thank you so very much, Allison. I know I've left some others out. We have some formal introductions, and I will introduce these men and women to come and offer some comments. Please continue to eat. First, I'll start out with Representative Matt Hatchett, who needs no introduction. He was born and raised here in Dublin. Representative Hatchett represents the 150th House District of the state of Georgia since November of 2010. All of you know all the great work that he does. Matt serves on the House Appropriations General Government Subcommittee, Economic Development Committee, and Tourism Committee, Energy, Utilities, and Telecom. Help me welcome our state representative, Matt Hatchett.
Thank you, Brad. You know, he's already said it once, but this is a great day in Lawrence County. This is a super day. You know, when I was thinking about what I was going to say, yes, I wrote some stuff down. I know y'all are shocked. You know, you think about the name of this is the Heart of Georgia Mega Site. But that's not just talking about our geography. And I know I speak for all of us when I say the Heart of Georgia refers as much to our strength, our sense of community, and our relentless drive that defines Lawrence County as it does to our geographical location. We're a community that understands that we only move forward when we leave no one behind, which is why I'm proud that our Development Authority, our chamber, all our local schools, and our local governments worked together with Allison McGrath to bring this certification to fruition. Allison, and I know there's others, but we all owe you a huge thank you for all you've done. Let's give her a round. As the first dual certified mega site in the state of Georgia, the Heart of Georgia Industrial Site stands to be a game changer for our community. With the potential to create over 5,000 new jobs, this site offers the opportunity to empower countless Middle Georgians to live out their American dream. We've heard these outside consulting firms in our state's own economic development department enthusiastically praise the potential of this 2,000-acre site. They've thrown around words like shovel-ready, market-ready, but in my opinion, they're simply telling us all what we already know. Lawrence County is always ready and open for business. It used to be that you had to have a spec building to attract new industry and jobs. And now I guess you got to have a mega site. And like always, we're number one. As I consider all that's been accomplished with the Heart of Georgia mega site, I'm confident we're building an economic foundation that will serve our community long into the future. Thank y'all.
I'm Marcus Clements with Clements & King Insurance. Are you a senior adult? We now offer dental and vision insurance for those over age 65. We have many options available with local providers. Call us today for a quote for your dental and vision insurance needs.
Next, I want to introduce Mr. Charlie Gatlin, who is a great friend of Dublin-Laurens County. Charlie's got 37 years of economic development experience. He's currently a senior advisor for the Georgia Department of Economic Development. He's a certified economic developer, past president and member of the board of the Georgia Economic Developers Association, honorary lifetime member award in 2009. He's also the interim president of our organization in 2014. Charlie, if you can, come up and give us some comments.
I do have something written down, Matt, but I promise I won't use it. Hey, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. It's my pleasure to be here in Dublin and Lawrence County. I always love coming here, and more importantly, I love to bring prospects or know about prospects that come to look at your beautiful community, because it is just always a pleasure to work with you. We started about 8 years ago at the Department of Economic Development with a certification program. Lindsay's going to come in a minute and talk about the McCollum-Sweeney program, but we call it GRAD, G-R-A-D, and it's simply a site readiness program, and it's really what all of our communities should be using to get their sites prepared for economic development. And it's really a basic program that we use. There are about 50 sites now, 52, something like that we've certified. And we've had, I think, now 11 locations on grad sites around the state. So it seems to be working very well. But when you go to mega sites, that's a whole different category. And just think about this now, 2,000 acres on rail with utilities at an interstate. Okay, I'm holding out my hand because if somebody said go find one of those in the state of Georgia, much less the whole country, Brad, where can you find one? I'd be hard pressed to find. Maybe there are 2 or 3 out there, but then when you add the community, the leadership that's here, what they know about economic development, and you add all of that together, I'd be hard pressed to find one that's any better in the state of Georgia, I'll be honest with you. So I've been on this site with a prospect. It is only a matter of time before this happens. Everybody in this room knows that. And so we're just proud to be a part of it. If you look in your packet, by the way, I want to emphasize this. There's a list of partners. It's a long list. And all these partners know all about this site today, right now. Everybody knows about this site, Brad, as you know. What I want to emphasize to you is when we get a project that's of the size that needs this kind of property, it's going to take that entire list of people focused on that project to make it happen. And so I just want you to know that when this comes along, and it will, everybody's got to buckle up, because it's difficult. It's one thing to have the site and all the partnerships, but it's difficult to land a project because everybody in the country that can is competing for it. And so what I am supremely confident that you not only have the right site, but you got the right community, and you got the right leadership, and you got the right partnerships. And when we get this chance, we're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. So thank you for letting me be here and being part of your community. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
A couple other members of our state team. Ryan Waldrop with the state of Georgia is here today. Lynn Ashcraft with the Georgia Department of Community Affairs is here today. They're also great partners. Technicians help us a lot during the year, too. Now I want to introduce our new friend from Greenville, South Carolina, who is a Columbia Gamecock graduate. I told her not to mention that today, but she may anyway. Lindsay's Director of Site Readiness Programs for McCollum-Sweeney, and it really is a huge honor to have her here today. She oversees McCollum-Sweeney's evaluation and certification programs. She earned a Master's of Public Administration and a Bachelor of Science in Business, both from the University of South Carolina. She's currently pursuing a Master's of Corporate Real Estate through Cornet Global, as well as a Certificate in Leadership from Commercial Real Estate Women Network. In 2016, she received the Rising Star Award from Crew Upstate, where she currently serves as the President-elect and a national delegate, in addition to serving on the University of South Carolina Moore School of Business Young Alumni Board. This honor, we're really delighted to have her here. Not only do they set the gold standard around the country for certifications, but they're also one of the leading site selection consulting firms in the United States. So to have her and her team knowledgeable of our site is a coup. And Lindsay, thank you for coming so far, and we'd like to turn it over to you now for good. Help me welcome Lindsay Myers.
So Allison told me I had 4 minutes, so if you want me just to speak to 4 minutes, I had to write down my notes. But before that, I want to tell you a little story, my little personal connection to Dublin. My boyfriend's family has about 300 acres outside of Jeffersonville, and so we go down there quite a bit. But as most of you in the room know, there's not a lot in Jeffersonville. So we come down here to go to the Home Depot and go to the grocery store. So I'm in Dublin quite a bit because you always forget that one thing you need or something breaks. So it's good to be back again. First, I want to congratulate Weyerhaeuser and Dublin-Laurens County on achieving certification on the Heart of Georgia property as a mega site super park dual certification. It's not only our first mega site super park dual certification, but it's also our first site certified in Georgia. And we have about 150 sites certified across the country. So the fact that this is the first one in Georgia is very exciting. Yes, thank you. McCallum-Sweeney certification is an exhaustive undertaking. And again, I also want to congratulate Allison and her team. I've told her this numerous times, but I want to clone her and move her to all the communities that we work in because she is awesome to work with and she does a great job. So thank you and congratulations. So you've achieved certification, but now the real work begins to land that project. I'm going to repeat a little bit of what Brad said because, Brad, Charlie and I were talking. I think you broke into my computer because I actually even have the TVA program as an example here. But mega projects, as Brad said, are those needing 1,000+ acres. And they're typically much different than other projects. First, they don't come around every day, so you have to be patient and wait for that opportunity. Each project's different and has its own requirements, but there's some common denominators. First, these projects have large investment numbers and large job creation numbers. As Brad said with the TVA program, 5 of those sites have sold and they averaged $1 billion in investment and 1,000 jobs. And that's what they announced. Today, all 5 of those projects, or most of those projects, are way over those numbers and have thousands upon thousands of jobs at the facility, not to mention the other jobs that a lot of times come with those projects. They also have stringent criteria, including large utility capacities and needing substantial transportation infrastructure. For a project needing 1,000+ acres, it's not a surprise to need at least 50 megawatts of electricity. And that's just on the electric side. All the other utility capacities are also substantial. The other big item with mega projects is the schedule. It used to be that we would have months or even years to find a location. We could even select the community and then have that community go find the site and put the site together. Today, we don't have that time. We actually have a project right now that was a very large, substantial project, something that could be similar to what would go on the Heart of Georgia mega site, and they wanted to be up and running in 12 months. That wasn't just location decision, but actually facility up and running in 12 months. So you have to be prepared for when that project comes calling, which leads to certification and its impact on site readiness. I've said before, it's an extensive process. The criteria that we set out for the mega site certification are based on automotive assembly operations. The certification process can take 18 to 24 months to complete. But at the end, you're able to meet the stringent criteria that that mega project is going to require. And you have almost all the questions a prospect may have answered. So if they say, how are you going to get the electric there? You know, you have a plan for it. It's not just saying, oh yeah, no worries, we'll get that there. You have it written down. You have those answers. Therefore, when that project comes with its short schedule, you're ready to go. And you're going to make that short list. And ultimately, you're going to be that location that's selected. So the Heart of Georgia mega site has some great attributes. From being centrally located, right here in the heart of Georgia, you have rail at the property, you have great access to I-16, you have those utilities that can provide those high utility numbers. So you've taken the first step in achieving certification, but now the real work begins to land the next mega project. And I can't say that I have a favorite site. You know, I have to be nice to all of my clients, and I will say that I'll be rooting for you. And I can't wait to see the change that it makes in this community. So congratulations again, and great work to everyone here in the room that played a part in it.
In honor of National Barbecue Month, we're holding the greatest rib-eating contest in the history of the universe, the Million Rib Sweepstakes at Sonny's Barbecue. Help us eat 1 million ribs and you could win free Sonny's for a year. Add to the bone count with all-you-can-eat St. Louis ribs with 2 sides and bread for $14.99 for a limited time. Then enter for a chance to win at sonnysbarbecue.com/millionribs. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
We are also known in this community as having the luck of the Irish. And I tell you, we are so very fortunate to have one of the premier, most outstanding corporate citizens in this country helping us guide this project. And I tell you, we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Plum Creek and now Weyerhaeuser and their generosity of their resources and their time. Our community hasn't spent one dime in a laundry list of 24 months worth of due diligence. Every dime of that has been burdened by this company in their pursuit of being a good corporate citizen and helping us market this site for potential large clients around the country. So we owe a huge debt of gratitude to this gentleman I'm about to introduce, and we're proud to have Mr. Jim Kilberg here, who's a Senior Vice President of Weyerhaeuser. Mr. Kilberg became the Senior VP of Real Estate, Energy, and Natural Resources at Weyerhaeuser after its merger with Plum Creek in February of this year. Jim started his career in the forestry industry when he joined Plum Creek in January of 2003, where he also served as Senior VP for Real Estate and Land Management, overseeing the company's real estate development, conservation, mitigation banking, and recreational lease businesses. Mr. Kilberg earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business from Washington University in St. Louis, a Master's degree in Business Management from Georgia State University, another Master's in Corporate Real Estate from the National Association of Corporate Real Estate, and has completed Executive MBA coursework at Harvard. Somebody used to say he has more degrees than a thermometer. Mr. Kilberg, it is a huge honor. We're so grateful for your partnership, and I hope you will all give a big, big thank you, Mr. Jim Kilberg.
That's embarrassing. You know, this is the first time I've exited here and not been at Cracker Barrel or Waffle House. Really pleased to get a free lunch. That's really a great thing. So good morning. I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm proud to represent Weyerhaeuser as we come together to talk about exciting plans for future economic development, not just here in Dublin-Laurens County, but in all of Georgia. Some of you may not be familiar with Weyerhaeuser, and on February 19th, we merged with Plum Creek to form the largest landowner in the world. And of course, we're the landowner of the Heart of Georgia megasite. Weyerhaeuser is a premier timber, land, and forest products company, and with the Plum Creek merger, we are now stewarding over 13 million acres across the U.S., planting over 130 million trees a year, and managing all those lands under the SFI certification, the Sustainable Forestry Initiative. We're also the largest landowner right here in Georgia, and we own nearly 800,000 acres of forest land in 90 counties, and we have 730 employees who work here in our state. Moreover, we are extremely proud of Georgia's economic development focus relating to this site, the #1 state in business, Charlie. We want to add to Governor Deal's terrific history of success by bringing quality employers like Caterpillar and the Kumho Tire deal that was just announced in Macon. It just needed to be a little bit further down the road. We want to bring that kind of success to right here in Dublin. I think it's important to note that through the Heart of Georgia megasite, we've established very strong partnerships, and it's been evidenced here today, I think, by all the thank yous, et cetera, especially to Allison McGrath, who's just done a terrific job. Strong partnerships with the Dublin-Laurens County Development Authority and other key stakeholders ensure the success of this site and the economic growth of our community. Working closely with the Development Authority, we were able to secure historic certifications, and we're celebrating those here today, of course. Thanks to these certifications, prospective industries can trust that our land was rigorously analyzed. Lindsay attested to that, and it is, quote unquote, shovel ready. We believe that the Heart of Georgia mega site has the potential to bring more than 5,000 jobs to Dublin-Laurens County and the surrounding communities. I am personally grateful to many of the individuals and organizations that have come together to help make this happen, and there are lots of folks to thank. Please let me first begin by earnestly thanking Governor Nathan Deal and Lieutenant Governor Casey Cagle for consistently supporting job growth here in Georgia. Let's show our appreciation to all our folks in that group that did what they do every day. I also really want to thank the local community right here in Laurens County. You are so fortunate to have incredibly strong leadership in Representative Matt Hatchett, the Laurens County Board of Commissioners, the city councils of both Dublin and East Dublin, the Dublin-Laurens County Development Authority, and so many others. These top-notch folks work every day to grow our local community and create jobs. Finally, I want to say a heartfelt thank you again to Commissioner Chris Carr. Charlie's here representing Chris, and I met with Chris and Charlie actually just a couple weeks ago in their offices talking about this site. I also want to thank Lindsay and the whole group of the whole team at McCallum Sweeney. Just terrific folks to work for, and we've had a terrific relationship with them. We wouldn't be here today without all of your support and collaboration, so thank you deeply from my heart and from all of Weyerhaeuser in everything that you've done to help us support this site and this community. So we've come a long way, and as Lindsay said, there's a lot more to do. We look forward to the next phase of the development of this site, including marketing its availability with our partners, the state of Georgia, and Charlie's team, McCallum Sweeney Consulting, Vision First Advisors under the leadership of Gray Swope. And actually, we also have a brokerage firm. You've seen the sign. CBRE is representing us from a tenant perspective. Seeing all we've accomplished here, I'm reminded of something Henry Ford once said, which was, coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success. The Weyerhaeuser team looks forward to working with you and celebrating more successes through the Heart of Georgia mega site. Thank you so much for your commitment to this important project and for your time here today. Much appreciated.
Okay, we have just a couple more. I want to introduce now my boss, Dr. Fred Williams, who's the chairman of the Development Authority. Dr. Williams has been an outstanding champion for economic development and for workforce development, and understands there's a great link between making sure we have good, highly qualified, skilled employees and good jobs for those employees to go to. So I want to introduce Dr. Williams to come up. He is a product of Plantation, Florida, but he's been here since 1993. He's also the superintendent of the Dublin City Schools, has been a phenomenal chairman. We've introduced a lot of new jobs this year under his lead, and I want to ask him to come up right now. If you would help me welcome Dr. Fred Williams.
I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone, and I stand here before you today on behalf of our entire board of directors. These gentlemen do a great job of giving their time and talents to our community, so as I stand before you today, I stand with them. We heard that coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. And as we look at success, we can all agree that success is when we're better, good enough. And so as we look at the laundry list of partnerships that is outlined in your packet, we want to challenge you as we better our good enough in this community to really cultivate those partnerships into deeper and lasting relationships as we continue to move forward hand in hand in economic development, particularly as it pertains to the Heart of Georgia mega site. We want to thank all of you who are here today that have played so much, many roles into what we are realizing at this very moment. And as we talk about relationships, I want to talk about the relationships with Weyerhaeuser and more specifically Ms. Allison McGrath. I would like to give her a hand at this time. We've had a great relationship with Ms. McGrath and her relationship with the Development Authority here in Dublin-Laurens. And we want to thank her and Weyerhaeuser for their commitment to our community. The many different stakeholder groups have really been a good faith effort to show that this mega site is in the business heart of Georgia and the Dublin-Laurens community. And we thank Weyerhaeuser for their relationship and commitment to this great community. Also, we want to thank everyone who played in the process of the dual certification that we have, the grad certification, as well as the McCallum-Sweeney certification. We're very excited about this as a part of the arrows in our quiver that really distinguishes this site from other sites, not only in this state, but in the nation. Also, we're very excited about our continued role in terms of marketing this site by holding site visits with potential prospects, and we're very excited about working with CBRE site brokers on marketing materials and really making sure our website is very user-friendly for potential prospects. This site will prove to be a differentiator for our community. We know that it will attract the type of industry that could potentially have even an international flavor, but will certainly impact this community with thousands of jobs. And we know what that will mean to our community, so we're very excited about that particular opportunity. And also, again, we're glad about the McCallum-Sweeney certification. A lot of hard work has gone into achieving that particular certification as well, and that it is the only dually certified site in our state, and so we're very excited about that as well. And as I get ready to take my seat, I just want to again express that we want to better our good enough by continuing to move those partnerships to deeper relationships. We don't just want to work on a project, but we want to continue to go hand in hand and really move that into relationships that will be lasting to continue to work on success here in the business heart of Georgia, Dublin, Georgia. Again, thank you for your time.
We are believers. Trust is earned in the field, where a full day's work will always tell the truth. We believe in what we do and what we have done. Who are we? Number one in subcompact tractors, number one in compact excavators, and number one in diesel engines. We are Kubota.
Freeman's Lawn and Garden. Call us at 272-2198.
The book of Proverbs, there's a quote that says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." And the one thing that is so neat about this community is the amount of vision, leadership, and it almost becomes cliche. We talk about it so much. But I tell you what, as a newcomer, I don't want to take it for granted that I live and I work and I'm in a community that supports job creation and economic development. And you know where it starts? From the very top. And we're fortunate to have a county commission that has said, "Brad, team, go out and create jobs. We have your back. We'll support you every step of the way." And they have sure done that. And I'm proud today as our last speaker, to introduce my friend, the chairman of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners, Mr. Emery Lake. Please help me welcome him. Thank you.
I want to say on behalf of the Lawrence County Commissioners, thank you for your attendance and your support. We really appreciate that. This mega site is sort of special to me because as the county commissioners, we have districts, and this is in my district, so I'm excited about it. You know, it's like, I don't know if you ever had a scratch-off lottery ticket and you won something and you can't wait to scratch it off to see what you won. This is sort of the way the mega site is. We're just sitting back waiting to see what's maybe coming there, and it's really, really exciting. But let me tell you, the state of Georgia is really got a lot going. And we appreciate that so much because I don't know if you realize, but in the next 20 years, the airport's going to invest $6 billion. Now, this year alone, they're going to invest $393 million already. Now, let's jump to the other end on the port, which Jimmy Allgood is on that committee, and that's great for Lawrence County. But just think about the port. 3 1.66 million containers dropped last year. Can you even believe that? That is just phenomenal. In the last, since 2000, that port has grown 9.4%. And in the next 2 or 3 years, they're expecting that port to go from number 3 to number 1 in the world. What does that mean? That means we're right in the middle of it. And on this mega site, who knows what will happen. I talked to a lot of the commissioners around the state. They're scrambling around trying to figure out how to get industries. Statesboro, Swainsboro, places like that. They're trying to invest to try to get things in. And here, we're so fortunate because this is almost like it was homegrown. And it's so exciting to know that we've got this. And this is probably one or two, as you were saying, in the nation at this magnitude. How blessed we are. So I want to thank Weyerhaeuser for the investment and for the confidence in this community. And I want to thank each and every one of you here today for what you do for Laurens County. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Does anybody object to us asking Mr. Gray Swope to come up and offer just a few comments? He's been there and done that, and there's nobody in this country with more expertise in mega site development.
Yeah, Brad owes me because that Todd looked at and said, hey, they may call on you. I looked at the program and said, I'm not on here. This is an exciting day. What really energizes me is watching communities that the leadership in this room that really decide this is the future that we want, and they put their resources in it, they come together and they make it happen. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the other side where communities have all the assets, they just sit back and let things happen. I call it laissez-faire strategy. I mean, they just let it happen. From the day one when Jim and Todd and Allison and team and then Plum Creek, now Weyerhaeuser, invited me to come here and look at this community and talk about the strategy of this mega site, I was blown away. I was blown away, one, by the site itself, in its proximity to the airport, its proximity to the Savannah port. Incredible, and sitting here on this interstate. But what really I've learned, there's a couple of visits here, is this leadership in this community is very, very special. And that's why you're going to be successful. A lot of people have assets like this, maybe not 2,000 acres in Georgia, Charlie, where are you? But there are a lot of other assets, and Lindsay, you know this, in other states that are like this. But the ones that are going to win are the ones that the leadership are going to come together and make it happen. And it will be a battle. It will be hard. There'll have to be some tough decisions made. But at the end of the day, you've got the folks in this room and in this community that are going to make it happen. There's no doubt in my mind. I was able to have the opportunity to be involved in a great team to work on a mega site project that McCallum Sweeney certified. It was a project for automotive, and it was an area that, if you look at it statistically, you'd say there's no way they had the workforce to support it. No way. Tupelo's, it's not even MSA. It's a micropolitan area. And it was one of the things that workforce was a big issue. But when you started looking at the leadership there and the people that convinced the leadership from Toyota this is where they needed to be, that's why they won the project, not because of the site, but the leadership. So I'm glad to be on this team. I'm glad to work for the Weyerhaeuser team and help them look at strategy and be a part of Georgia, and hopefully looking at ways that we can be successful on this site. So congratulations, celebrate today, and let's get to work tomorrow. Thank you.